I'm finally sitting down to film a highly requested video here on my channel. Today is going to be all about my handbags that I have sold, how I sell them, how much I sell them for, and if it's actually worth it selling these beautiful designer bags that we love on the secondary market. Hi guys, it's Temi with YellowSparksJoy. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, I like to talk about fashion and lifestyle, particularly handbags. So if you like those kinds of things, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the tiny notification bell beside the subscribe button so you can get notified every single time I upload a new video. So I'll talk about why I bought these bags, why I sold these bags, how much I bought the bags at the time that I bought them for the ones that I can remember. I've tried to go through my receipts, what I've kept, my emailed receipts as well, to see if I can pull as much of that information as possible. Where I can't remember, I'll let you know as well. It's been a while. I've been collecting bags for about 5 years now. I've loved bags for way more than that, but I did start collecting about 5 years ago, so it's been a while. So I might not have all the figures right. All of the amounts in today's video will be in Canadian dollars. So first of all, let me preface this by saying that I don't particularly sell my handbags to make a profit. I sell because I want to make room for new bags that are coming in, or I feel like a bag is not working for me, or the style doesn't fit my lifestyle. I ended up not liking it. For me, when I started collecting, it was kind of like a learning process. I think I'm at a stage now where I know exactly, not exactly, because I can't really know exactly, but I know what I like. I know what works for me. And so most of these things, most of these bags that I sold are bags that I bought during that process when I hadn't really reached the point of, okay, I can say for a fact that this will work, this won't work. You have this color, you don't have that color. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So I sell them because I've either fallen out of love, or the style doesn't work for me, or there's just something. And I'll talk about each one and why at each time. Also, I know there's usually talk about whether designer handbags are investments, whether they're not investments. And as I go through each one, I'll also kind of talk about that as well. Personally, I think that they are investments, but then investments into your collection, not necessarily financial investments. They can be, but there's a big but. It depends on being able to sell them. So I see that there are a number of YouTubers in the handbag community that talk about, oh, if you buy certain types of handbags, you can always resell them and make a profit, blah blah blah. Well, that is true. You have to remember that these YouTubers have a platform where it makes selling easy for them, and so it's easy for them to move these handbags to someone else at a premium price, particularly if you buy well. So first of all, you have to buy well. That's very important, because not all handbags appreciate in value where you're then able to sell for a profit. So you have to buy well, be strategic in buying if you want to resell at a good price. But then you also have to have a platform to be able to sell these bags, so that when you do sell them, you're not paying a commission to a consignment store or another reseller to help you sell. And I found that that's usually where you fall short when selling, or where I've fallen short when selling, because I don't have as big as a platform as some of these other YouTubers, the more well-known, well-established YouTubers in the handbag community. I'm not able to sell on my platform because I don't have a wide reach. Also, because I'm in Canada, I find that it's easier to sell in the American market than in the Canadian market. Canadians don't really buy as much, from what I've come to learn. So I don't sell on my YouTube channel, or I've never sold through my YouTube channel, but I do sell on Poshmark. Poshmark is my primary platform for selling my handbags, and then I've sold on Instagram as well, via my Instagram page. Sometimes because someone sees an item for sale on Poshmark, they don't want to pay the Poshmark price. They know I'll be able to offer them less off of Poshmark, so they will then contact me on Instagram. I've sold on Facebook Marketplace as well. I think just one item, not very many. I've sold to a consignment store before. I've sold to a reseller before. So it's just really what works for certain items. Okay, so let's start. First handbag I sold was in 2021. I decided that I was going to try to sell my handbags on Poshmark for the first time in 2021. And so I listed my Georgie quilted saddle bag. This is from Coach Outlet, a very beautiful bag in color boysenberry. I love that deep berry color. And so I bought it because I was like, okay, let's try this bag. It's very beautiful. The color, I actually loved the color, and that's why I bought it. But then I was like, I'm not carrying this bag. I'm not wearing it. Why? At that point, I didn't understand why. I just knew I wasn't wearing it. And it wasn't the type of bag where I was happy just watching it or looking at it sit on my shelf. And so I decided to let go in 2021. And I sold that bag for $120 on Poshmark. I can't remember how much I bought it for. It was at the outlet, so I don't think it was up to 200, to be honest. Maybe right around 200. And I think I bought it probably the year before that, so 2020. So I sold it a year later or within a year for 120, which really isn't bad, although it was like in excellent use condition because I hardly used that bag to be honest. So I definitely made a loss. Sold it for 120 on Poshmark. Poshmark collected their fees, so at the end of the day what came to my pocket was $90.84. So you do the math and decide whether or not it was worth it. I think that it was worth it because I wasn't constantly reminded of this bad decision I made anytime I enter my closet. Selling that bag meant I didn't have to see it, and I didn't have to remember that I had bought the wrong bag for me, right? I've sold it to someone else. Someone will love it, and for them to be able to buy it at a lower price than they would have at the store makes me happy. I was happy that I was able to help someone else buy a bag that they liked for less than they would have at the stores. And it did bring some change back into my pocket, which is of course always a nice thing. In 2022, in March, I sold my LV Alma PM. So I bought my Alma PM on the secondhand market because it was cheaper than buying it at the store, and I really like the Alma. I love the shape of that bag. I've mentioned it several times, and you can find my videos on that bag and all the other bags I'm talking about in today's video. You can find them on my YouTube channel. Like, I have videos on all of them all there. So I bought the Alma on secondhand market for $700. It was in fairly good used condition. I had it dyed. It came in, what colors did it come in? Okay, so it was the monogram canvas print with the vachetta leather, and so I had the reseller dye it for me to black. And the Alma PM doesn't ordinarily come in black leather with the monogram canvas. That has to be like a special order that you ask LV to do for you. So because the vachetta I was buying was already had watermarks and stains, I asked the reseller to dye it for me to black, which I really love. I love that combination. If I were to put in a special order for my dream Alma, it will be the Alma BB in the monogram canvas with black leather. That's what I would do. But I know better now, and I know that I would not buy an Alma, at least none of the ones they currently have on offer, because the Alma just doesn't work for me. So even though I love it, and that's the thing about handbags, you really never know until you try. I tried the Alma and I realized it never worked for me. So I bought it for $700 on the resale market, sold it for $550 on Poshmark. The person I sold it to, by the way, wrote me a love note saying how beautiful the bag was, how in great condition it was, how she was so excited to have been able to buy a designer handbag off of Poshmark for a good price that was still in wonderful condition. So I keep my bags really well. I take care of my bags, and so I was really happy to receive that note. So for me, selling bags even at a loss just really brings me joy if I can help someone else out. And at that time, I had the Alma for a little over a year. I wasn't using it. It's a gorgeous bag. Sometimes I think about it, actually. I wouldn't say I regret selling it, but I do think about it and I miss it. So I sold it for $550 again because of the fees on Poshmark. Can we see what's going on here? I ended up making $434.50. So that's what came back to me. So about 50% off of the price I originally paid for that bag. So you can determine if selling on these platforms is actually worth it or not. I think this is why many people sell on Facebook groups. There are Facebook groups for different designer brands: LV, Coach, Valentino, Celine, Chanel, Michael Kors. You can join those Facebook groups and sell to people and make your entire profits without having to pay fees to any platform. The only thing is you carry the risk, you bear the risk of being scammed by a fraudulent person, right? So that's one of the risks of selling on Facebook groups without a third party being the intermediary. On Poshmark, at least there's some form of security there. I know there have been scams, there's stories of scams, there's stories of bad transactions happening, but at least I feel like it's still less risky to sell on places like Poshmark, Mercari. eBay, not so much. eBay is really flooded with a whole lot of scammers, in my opinion, right now. But if you want to make all of your money rather than sharing your profits with a platform, then try Facebook. So in November of 2022, I sold my Coach Ergo bag, size 18, in the color black. This one was actually quite sad because I had bought it on sale in January, I believe, of that year, because I had the Ergo in natural. I still have the Ergo in natural, and I loved it so much. And I saw the black, and the black was so gorgeous, so beautiful. That glove tan leather on that bag, so yummy. But I wasn't using it as much, and I thought, why do I have two of the same type of bag when it's not like it's my favorite style or it's a style I absolutely love? It just didn't make sense, and so I decided to sell it. I missed that bag. Will I repurchase it? No. I think it was a practical decision that had to be made, and I made the best decision. I bought the bag. The bag was originally priced at $395. I actually bought the natural in full price. That's how much I love that bag. But the black, I waited for it to go on sale. This was during the semi-annual sale that year. So I paid $100, and it was priced on sale for $197. I ended up paying $207 after tax, and so I sold it on Poshmark for $192. This one actually sold like that. No bargaining, no offers, no back and forth, nothing. The person who wanted it saw it, purchased it immediately. I listed it at $192. It sold at $192. Like, I was so happy. I was actually very, very happy for this sale because I paid $207 after tax for the bag, and I sold it at $192. I think I really did well with that one. Like, I really, really did well with that one. Sadly, of course, because it was on Poshmark, I ended up making $153.60 after Poshmark took their fees. I'm happy the bag sold. It sold quickly. It sold for a fair price, in my opinion. But what this particular transaction taught me was that buying bags on sale actually makes it nicer, or makes it more comfortable for me, or makes me happier, I think that's the word, when I eventually sell them, because I didn't pay full price. Imagine buying this bag at the original price of $395 and then selling it for $153, because basically that's what I made, right? For $153. That's painful. That's a painful loss within a year. It wasn't like, if it was after like 5 years or 3 years, fine, I've used the bag for 3 years, I'm okay. But this was within a year. I had barely used the bag. It would have been really painful if I had bought that bag full price and I ended up selling it at $153. So the lesson this transaction taught me was that as much as I can, I would buy bags on sale. The only bags that I would not buy on sale are bags that I know immediately I want this bag and it's going to be a forever bag. So styles like the Sammy that I know, that is, because now I know that top handle bags, structured top handle bags are my bags. Immediately I saw the Sammy in the color Hey, I'm like, yes, yes, and yes. Full price, no question asked. Bags like the quilted hat bag, you know, those kinds of things. So definitely we'll buy bags on sale just because it just makes more sense to wait until there's a discount. And then if I end up selling the bag, I won't take as much of a loss as I would have if I bought it for its original price. I really hope that makes sense. So in 2023, January of this year, I sold my Coach Madison in the color gray with the tri-fabric Madison. I bought this one from Hudson's Bay. It wasn't available in Coach at Coach retail store. I think it was a Hudson Bay exclusive, so I bought it on thebay.com for about $371.25. And this is one bag where it was a hard lesson to learn that the Madison is not my style bag. It's a beautiful, beautiful style bag. I love looking at Madison. I love carrying the Madison whenever I'm in store, but it's not my style bag. I think because of the chain handle, and I talked about this recently in my last video on quilted handbags. If you haven't watched it, I'll leave that link in the description box below so you can go take a look. I had great conversations with some people who love those bags with chain straps. I have realized that I am not a chain strap person. They hurt my shoulders and I can't do it. It's top handle, or if it's going to be crossbody, it has to have a wide leather or fabric crossbody. So I bought the Madison, ended up not working for me, and so I sold it January of this year on Poshmark for $209. And after Poshmark took their fees, I ended up getting $162.20. So that is what, more than half of what I paid for it. And considering that I never really used that bag, you know, that one didn't hurt so much because I didn't like or love the bag, right? I didn't love the bag. I liked the bag, but I didn't love it. So it didn't hurt so much when I sold it, and the fact that I lost money on that bag. Yeah. And so also in January, I decided to sell my Alma BB. This one is very sad because I actually like the Alma. I love that shape, but for some reason that bag just doesn't work for me. I don't know why. I just wasn't carrying it. It's a beautiful bag, and under, like, if I had all the money in the world, I really wouldn't mind staring at that bag on my shelf. It's a bag that will be on my shelf. I may not carry it, I may or may not carry it, and I won't have a problem with it. But it was just, for me, and because I don't have all the money in the world, it was just too much money sitting on my shelf. So I decided to sell it, just so that when I enter my closet, I could breathe freely and not be conflicted within my spirit. So I decided to sell that bag. Now this one, I posted it on Poshmark, but it wasn't selling. And Alma is not a unicorn bag. It is not a bag that is not available anywhere. Almas are pretty easy to come by on the secondary market and even at the retail store as well. This one was in the Temi print. I bought it for about $2,000, inclusive of tax and all of that. It was $1,800. That was the marked price at the time when I bought it, and then tax and all of that, $2,000 I think was what I paid. And so it was a pretty hefty one. So I see why it didn't move or it didn't sell on Poshmark. What eventually happened was that a reseller reached out to me on Instagram and mentioned that they had seen it listed for sale on Poshmark and was wanting a transaction off of Poshmark because they knew that I would offer less. They contacted me off Poshmark. Very, very nice person. She is a well-known handbag reseller, and so she has a larger platform to be able to sell these bags faster. People trust her more, right? And so this is a fair example of where people say, oh, but luxury designer bags are investments. Well, you have to have the platform to be able to sell those bags before you call it a financial investment. You also have to keep the bag in pristine condition. You also have to make sure it's a bag that is like rare or hard to find or would definitely appreciate in value. The Alma BB had actually increased in price at the time I was selling it. I think it was like $1,900 at that point, so it had increased by $100 or maybe even $200. I was really hoping to make about $1,800, like make what I spent for it back, like the cost price at the time. And so I thought, okay, since it was about $2,000 in the boutiques before tax, maybe someone will buy it for $1,800 from me. But again, this is a used bag. Even though I keep my bags really well, I take care of my bags, and I hadn't used it much. I feel like people would have just rather bought it brand new from the boutique where they were guaranteed of its authenticity, rather than buy it from someone off Poshmark. So when this reseller approached me, I was very happy to let it go into her hands, even though I knew that she was going to resell the bag and make money off of it. I really didn't mind, because at that time I was like, I just need this bag to go. So I ended up selling it for $1,630, and I'm totally fine. Now in March this year, I sold my small town bucket bag in the color Glacier White. This one was from the Coach outlet. I really love the color, but I also learned that the small town bucket bag, I had two of them at this point. So I learned that I preferred the Molly 25 over the small town bucket bag, and I wasn't using that one in Glacier White so much. So I thought, okay, let me let that one go. I will probably eventually let my green small town bucket go at some point, but right now I still have that because I haven't bought a green Molly to replace that. Maybe when I buy a green Molly to replace if my sister is watching, don't come for me. Yes, I'm going to buy a third Molly 25 at some point. So maybe when I buy a green Molly 25 to replace my small town bucket in green, I would then sell my small town bucket in washed green. But for now, I still have that one. I have, however, sold my small town bucket bag in glacier white. And this one sold for $115 on Poshmark, and I made $95 after Poshmark took their fees. I can't remember how much I bought it, but I know I went through a struggle to get this bag because that's how much I loved the print. I actually bought it from the US. It was sold out in Canada, sold out in the US. I called all the outlet stores. I called customer service. I bugged them all day. They finally found one in, I think it was in Washington or something. I called the store, made the purchase, and I had them send it to a US address, and my friend sent it to me here in Canada. It was like a wild goose chase, but I really don't regret it because honestly I enjoy those chases, to be honest. So in April of this year, I sold my bead saddle bag in the color red sand. Now at this point, I was willing to try the saddle style again. So remember, I had the Georgie saddle in boysenberry that I sold, and so I thought maybe it was the color, even though I love that color. And I've actually replaced that color in my closet. I now have the B in a deep berry, very similar color to the boysenberry that I absolutely love, but the B is an east-west style, and that is more my style than saddles. So with the bead saddle bag, I for sure confirmed that saddle bags are not my style because it was a beautiful bag in that beautiful red sand, and I just wasn't wearing it. So I knew for a fact that saddle style bags are not for me. So I sold that on Poshmark. No, actually I listed it on Poshmark, but it sold on Instagram. This was a bag that I bought on sale. It was originally priced at $550. It was priced on sale at $275. I ended up paying $288 after tax, and I sold it on Instagram for $230. Not bad at all. Like, I bought it for $288, I sold it for $230. This was after about a year of having it. I'm totally fine with that. In May, I sold my Tory Burch Ella Mini Puffer Tote, a very beautiful tote, but with this one, I made a mistake in size. I should have bought the larger size, but I bought the smaller size instead. And so I was like, okay, off you go. To replace that, I'm actually looking to buy the Ella nylon tote with the chain strap. I just haven't brought myself to pull the plug. So these days, I'm now a bit more hesitant to actually buy things. And the funny thing is, this particular bag is not going on sale. At least the mini puffer, when I bought it on sale. I know I bought it on sale. I just can't remember how much it was. But now I'm more hesitant because I can see how much of a struggle it is to sell these bags, and I've learned what I like and what I don't like. I'm now more hesitant to actually buy these things, right? So I want that Ella tote with the chain handle. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. I want it in black. It's actually currently on sale in the red and in the army green, but I want it in black, and the black has so far, since that bag was released, never gone on sale. But anyways, so the mini puffer tote I sold for 120 Canadian dollars, and I ended up making, after Poshmark took their fees, $96. Also in May was quite a busy one for me. I sold like 3 different bags in May. Wow. Okay, so in May I sold my Kate Spade Little Better Sam nylon bag. I sold this one because I think I had other bags I was using more. I love the Little Better Sam. It was like a Mary Poppins bag, but it didn't have a crossbody. The shoulder strap wasn't really working. It wasn't shoulder for me, it wasn't top handle for me. So I'm like, you know what, just let this bag go. And honestly, I didn't pay much for it. I can't remember how much I bought it. I couldn't find that information anywhere, but I know it didn't cost me a lot because I bought it on sale. I sold it for $75, and I ended up taking home $60 after Poshmark took their fees. Finally, in May, I sold my Swinger 20. This was from the Quilties collection from Coach Boutique. I bought it on sale though at Coach Outlet for $159.37, and I ended up selling it for $125. Not bad at all. I did, however, end up keeping $100. So Poshmark took $25 and $100 was mine. So that means I lost about $60 on that bag, and I actually never ever used that Swinger 20. But I didn't mind because I didn't love the bag, and I really just wanted it to leave my closet. I wanted to make room for other things. In June, I sold my Coach camera bag, which I absolutely love. This was the quilted one in the color chalk, but I had other bags. I have lots of bags, and so it came down to a matter of what did I want to keep and what did I want to let go, right? So in terms of camera bag, I have my Tory Burch camera bag. I have Is that the only camera bag I have now? I think so. So I was like, okay, you know what, it's time to let this Coach camera bag go. I have my Keep if I want a small bag. I have my Rowan, my mini Rowan, you know, so I just had alternatives. I'm actually still planning on buying a small sized crossbody, white crossbody, but I'm looking to buy something from YSL instead. But that's somewhere down the line, maybe end of next year or something. So I decided to sell this one, and I remember that I bought it for $180.62. I sold it on Poshmark for $117, and I ended up keeping $78.36. Also in June, I sold my mini Court backpack. This one was a terrible mistake. The only reason I bought this bag from Coach Outlet was because it was yellow. And I wanted a yellow bag. At the time I bought it, I did not have any yellow bag in my collection, and I'm like, can I really call myself YellowSparksJoy without having a yellow bag in my car? But I mean, seriously, that's just because I'm picky about the type of yellow that I like. So I bought this yellow bag, and it was in the color retro yellow from Coach Outlet. It arrived and I wasn't in love because it was a backpack, and I'm not a backpack person. So I was like, you know what, you're done. I had this bag for like 2 years at this point, maybe carried it only once. I'm like, it's okay, you need to go. So I bought the mini Court backpack for $110.25. I sold it for $72, and I shouldn't really say I didn't make any money. I kept $53.67. So 50% of what I bought it for was what I ended up getting. In July, I sold my Tory Burch micro Ella straw totes. Big mistake. Do not buy small straw totes because they serve no purpose, absolutely no purpose. Like, I have other mini and micro bags that I can use that can serve the same purpose. It doesn't have to be straw. Also, I really don't need a real straw bag that size. I can buy 4 straw in that size. I sold this bag, and then I bought the Coach structured straw tote in the larger size. In my opinion, if you want a straw tote, buy a big size, regular size straw tote, not a micro size straw tote. So I can't remember how much I bought this bag. I can't find the receipt, but it sold for $200, and I ended up keeping $160 after Poshmark took their fees. In August, I sold my Coach Outlet Basquiat Cleo shoulder bag 17. I bought this bag for $254.66, and I sold it for $152, keeping $121. This one I've had for about 3 years. Whenever the Basquiat collection came out at Coach Outlet, I bought this bag primarily because I missed out on the Basquiat collection at the boutique. I really wanted the Beats 18 with the Empire skyline, the artwork on that beat, the ivory beat, but I missed it. It was sold out by the time I wanted to buy it. I wasn't able to catch it when some of them were put up for sale at the outlet. So when the outlet came out with their own Basquiat collection, I was very happy, very excited, and I bought the Cleo. But again, the Cleo shoulder bag 17, and I should have known better by this point, but I just really wanted something from that collection. But the Cleo shoulder bag is a saddle bag. This one actually hurt me because I love the Basquiat collection. I love that print. I love the color. I just wasn't using the bag. And so I said, Temi, you know what? You really, like, I spoke to myself. I had to tell myself the hard truth. You need to let this bag go. So I let it go. And why was I just about to burst into song? I was just about to burst into let it go, let it go. Oh my gosh. Okay, moving on. Last week, my Coach Parker top handle sold. This one is an emotional one for me. Let's just give it a moment of silence, because the Parker top handle was my very first bag that I bought from Coach. I bought this bag in 2019. The Parker is a boutique bag, but I bought it from the outlet because I went to the outlet one day and it was right there. That was the very first time I went into a Coach outlet store. That was the very first bag I bought. I felt so conflicted putting that bag up for sale, but honestly, in the last 2 years maybe, I have not used that bag. I've learned since when I started collecting that bags that size are not for me. I'm not going to use them. I'm not going to wear them. It's a beautiful bag. I really wish that Coach, look at how low my voice has gotten because I'm so sad. I really wish that Coach reconsiders bringing back that style. I would buy it in a smaller size, maybe like a medium, small or mini. But this particular one was too large. I wasn't using it, not even for work. And so I sold it. Now, because this was the first purchase I ever made from Coach, I don't think I kept the receipt. I don't have it. I searched, I couldn't find it. But I sold this bag for $120 and I kept $92.32 after Poshmark took their fees. I'm very sad, actually. Someone sent me some ice cream or gummy bears or a new bag. I'm so sad. My parka. I really tried to make that bag work. Like I styled it with different clothes. I even started a bring the parka back thread on the Coach Facebook group that I belong to. Like everybody was showing off their parkas and they're just so beautiful. But maybe I should have just kept it on my shelf and just kept looking at it every day because it was such a beautiful bag. But oh well. Those are all the bags that I have sold since 2021 to now when I started selling. As you can see, most of them were on Poshmark because it's just much more easy and convenient for me to sell my bags that way. I list them on Poshmark. If it sells, Poshmark sends me a shipping label. I pack it up, ship it, and it's off my hands. I really don't have to go back and forth as much. I don't have to, I don't take as much risk. It's less risky than selling on my own or selling on Facebook. And so I really prefer it that way. Poshmark is my preferred platform of choice. I still have 2 more bags listed on my Poshmark closet. I have my Rogue 25 in the color green for sale. And I have my Tory Burch Kira shoulder bag in the color cloud blue also for sale if you're interested in buying these bags. Because Poshmark, the platform Poshmark that I use is Poshmark Canada. I'm not able to sell in the US. I actually feel that if I was able to sell in the US, these bags would have sold already, but I can't list on Poshmark US, so I've listed them on Poshmark Canada. But if you are anywhere else, okay, let me not say anywhere else. If you're in the US or in Canada and you're interested in purchasing these bags off of Poshmark, you can always send me an email or a DM on Instagram. My information is in the description box below. If I've left out anything, if there's any questions you have, if there's any information you're looking for that I have not talked about on this video, please leave me a comment and I will definitely respond. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and I will see you in this one. Bye.